Welcome back. Before we get into the first story for this week, I want to take a moment to make a correction to last week's podcast. While the FHA's report to Congress shows that the HECM standalone capital ratio increased by 24.5% over fiscal year 2023, the MMI fund capital, for which the HECM portfolio backs the agency's claim-paying ability, surged up by 44.96%, from $11 billion to nearly $17 billion. And that's a huge boost, and one I wanted to ensure that you, our listeners and viewers, are aware of. The HECM program is indeed on a sound financial footing. Now to our story. Earlier this month, I presented 3 possible picks for the incoming Trump administration's next Secretary of the Department of Housing and Urban Development. But the actual choice was one that most pundits and myself never expected. Housing Wire's Chris Cloud reported last week that President-elect Donald Trump announced that he has nominated Scott Turner. Now, Turner was the former executive director of the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council, which created economic opportunity zones in disadvantaged communities, more specifically in inner cities. Now, that is the nominee for HUD, and this is going to be very important for anyone in FHA lending or reverse mortgage lending. Now, Turner is an ally of the president and also a member of the America First Policy Institute. He's also a former professional football player and Texas state representative, and he served Collin County and Rockwell counties from 2013 to 2017. He played for the NFL for 9 seasons prior to entering politics for teams which included the former Washington Redskins, San Diego Chargers, and the Denver Broncos. Turner helped lead an unprecedented effort that transformed our country's most distressed communities, that according to a statement from Trump released by his transition team. And he also worked very closely with former HUD Secretary Ben Carson by overseeing more than 200 policy actions, which helped to further economic development, said Trump in a recent announcement on Truth Social. The president-elect added that Turner oversaw roughly $50 billion of private investment in opportunity zones and is the founder and CEO of the Community Engagement and Opportunity Council, which offers sports programs and mentorship in local communities. Turner is also an associate pastor at Prestonwood Baptist Church, based in Plano, Texas. Now, if you'd like a more detailed look at our next potential Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, then you want to watch our latest episode of the Industry Leader Update, which can be found on HECMWorld.com. It's no secret to reverse mortgage professionals and to our viewers that the reverse mortgage has struggled to gain market acceptance and has fallen from a high of more than 119,000 endorsements in 2009 to just under 20,000 in the first half of 2024, according to a column in Mortgage Professional of America. But their reemergence could be a trend to watch for in the years ahead. That according to a leading broker who's been keeping an eye on the reverse mortgage space. Karina Carter, president and founder of CMS Mortgage, told Mortgage Professionals of America that she's expecting to see homeowners over the age of 62, which, by the way, is the minimum age to qualify for a home equity conversion mortgage, that reverse mortgages will become increasingly viable between now and 2027, with some of the negative connotations around the loan beginning to fade. Carter said, "That's a demographic that's not going to be moving or downsizing, so I feel like that's going to be a huge factor. We talk every day about how much equity everyone has, so if prices are going up, equity is going up. Now you can tap into what you have." Educating potential borrowers on the option and whether it's the right choice or an unsuitable one should be top of mind for brokers dealing in the reverse mortgage space, according to Carter. And that involves a conversation, she says, around the borrower deciding on how they're going to be taking the equity that they've built up over many years and then strategically using it for several years in the future. It was very, very popular in 07, 08, and 09, said Carter. I feel like during the next 3 years, someone really focused on reverse mortgages is going to knock it out of the park in our business. Monitoring that market and liaising with CPAs and attorneys on the educational approach, she said, will be key priorities for her team in the years ahead. And we'll keep our eyes open to see what happens there. What's more, Carter says that the product, the HECM, should be part of a comprehensive and well-planned financial strategy rather than a crisis management tool, an important consideration that was outlined by the National Council on Aging. and I couldn't agree more. And we're pleased to bring to you John McCue with Reverse Market Insight. John's going to be giving us the RMI Market Minute, where he's going to be outlining all of the changes and developments, all the new information that we're seeing when it comes to trends in HECM lending. John, thank you so much. Take it away.
Hey, thanks for having me back again, Shannon. Really appreciate it. So this month, we're going to do a deep dive into September, since those are the most final numbers that we have. And as always, we're going to be starting with case number assignments. So case numbers actually rose by 0.5% to 3,703. Unfortunately, though, the new equity takeout dropped 4.5% to 2,885. Purchase was up just over 1% to 177 case numbers. But the one thing that we've been watching for a number of months now is actually the HECM refinance numbers. And we've had a fourth straight gain. In fact, in September, they leaped almost 27% to 641 case numbers. So case numbers overall in September were a bit rosier from August, but this gain is pretty much completely dependent on the very rate-dependent refinance segment. Actual new equity takeout dropped, and HECM for purchase stayed relatively the same. So all of the gain of September came from HECM refinances. Also, given the strong bounce higher on the 10-year CMT, case numbers probably going to be heading down, would be our guess, in the next couple of months. If not, in the next month or two, we'll probably see those case numbers start to drop. Endorsements dropped to just over 2% to 2,153. Only two regions showed any growth in September. Southwest, which bounced back nearly 17% to 221 loans, and the Southeast Caribbean rose 5.7% to 541 loans. Actually taking a top spot from Pacific Hawaii for the month. Retail was up 1.5%, wholesale was down 7.9%, and like we said before, total endorsements were down about 2.4%. As far as the lenders are concerned, 6 of the top 10 showed some growth. South River was up 88% to 96 loans. High Tech jumped 62% to 60 loans, and Good Life added 12% to 91 loans. So from a case number perspective, things look pretty good. But we need to be cautiously optimistic given the trends we discussed there. As for endorsements, the downward trend we have seen was predicted by underwhelming case numbers of the prior months. With that being said, we can assume we will see endorsements increase in the next couple of months, since the case numbers started to pick up a month or two ago. However, we will need to watch and see how the rising 10-year CMT plays into case number assignments the rest of the year, and ultimately endorsements as we end the year and begin a new one. So tune in next month to see how much endorsements rose in October and who led the way.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of HECMWorld Weekly. We would encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we do also have an audio companion of this podcast, which you can find on Apple Music and Spotify. We look forward to seeing you next week with the nation's only weekly podcast, bringing you, the mortgage professional, reverse mortgage news each and every week. Have a great day.